Sidra. The attack catches Frieza, and everybody expects Frieza to be erased, except he isn't. Frieza literally forces his way out of it, but what happens next is even more interesting. He doesn't simply destroy the energy, he controls it. Think about that. That isn't regular ki. This is energy obtained from a god of destruction, and Frieza goes from being trapped inside to manipulating it in his hand. Then what does he immediately do after that? He throws it at Goku. Why? It's Frieza testing, buddy. Or just Frieza testing. You get what I'm saying? Not necessarily because he already understood Hakai, but because it's just how Frieza operates. Observe, experiment, learn. Can Goku survive this? What does this energy actually do? How powerful is this compared to me? This scene might be our first clue for real. And Dragon Ball does something very interesting. It puts Frieza against Hakai again. Enter Toppo, not Pride Trooper Toppo, Destroyer Toppo. Toppo abandons everything and begins wielding the power of destruction, and Frieza immediately disrespects him, which ends horribly. Toppo absolutely crushes him. And I want you to remember that moment, because Frieza remembers humiliation. This is the same character who still hates Goku from what happened on Namek. So imagine what Toppo did to his mental. Frieza had already touched the destruction energy. He already manipulated a portion of it. And then he finally encountered someone who actually wielded the power properly and got destroyed. That's information. That gives Frieza something that he never had before. A first-hand demonstration of the next level above him. There's another part of the tournament that people overlook. Dyspo. Speed was supposed to be Dyspo's entire advantage, yet Frieza was capable of fighting and reacting to him, fairly even until he pushed past his limits. Then Gohan and Frieza adapted their strategy around that speed. Why does this matter? Because in the Tournament of Power, it gave Frieza something that he didn't have before the Namek saga. Data. He got to observe fighters from multiple universes: Jiren, Toppo, Dyspo, Goku breaking through his limits, Vegeta breaking through his limits, God Ki, Ultra Instinct beginning to emerge. Frieza essentially got a front row seat of the ceiling of mortal power. You know what I'm saying? And Frieza is exactly the type of character who will leave that tournament thinking like, I need to become something beyond golden. Just like Goku be on, just like Frieza, Vegeta be on, Frieza the same way. And then this is where Black Frieza becomes suspicious. Goku keeps training, Vegeta keeps training, but Frieza disappears. Then the manga reveals something insane. He found another dimension where the time moved differently. And he trained for 10 years? 10 years. For the same character who became Golden Frieza after only a few months to seriously train, ask yourself, what was Frieza doing for 10 years? Was he really just doing push-ups and increasing his power level? I don't buy that. Not after everything we just seen. Here's another thing. Frieza didn't accidentally avoid the wish that made Granola the strongest character in the universe, and later Gas the strongest. He was training somewhere else outside of that universe, meaning when the wish was evaluated, the strongest warrior in the universe, Frieza was not included. Then he walks onto the battlefield once everybody has nearly destroyed themselves, killed Gas, shows his new form, one-shots Ultra Ego Vegeta, one-shots Ultra Instinct Goku, and then leaves. That's not Namek Frieza behavior. That's calculated Frieza. He did not scream about being the strongest immediately, try to kill everybody. He demonstrated the gap and walked away, which tells me that those 10 years weren't just physical training Frieza was planning. Now here comes the speculative part of the theory. Why Black Frieza? Gold Frieza makes perfect sense. Frieza converted superiority and royalty. Gold represents exactly that. But black, in the look of the transformation itself, black and purple, those colors immediately put Black Frieza visually closer to the aesthetic Dragon Ball has repeatedly associated. It didn't choose black simply because it, comes after gold. Maybe black represents what Frieza spent those 10 years trying to become. Not a Saiyan, not an angel, something closer to a destroyer. So here's my theory. Black Frieza is a result of Frieza spending 10 years developing his body specifically to adapt to, imitate, or eventually wield destruction energy. Think about it like progression. First encounter, Frieza survives destruction energy. Second step, he controls destruction energy that didn't belong to him. Third encounter, he experiences true destroyer power through Toppo and gets completely overwhelmed. Then he disappears for 10 years, and when he returns, black and purple transformation, power beyond Ultra Ego, Vegeta, and the Saiyan literally training under Beerus. That's crazy, right? That progression is way too interesting for me to ignore. Maybe Black Frieza doesn't have Hakai yet, but what if Black Frieza's body was created so that he could eventually can? You know what I mean? The scariest possibility. Then there's one more thing. Vegeta is also on the same path, right? But Vegeta has teachers, rules, philosophy. Frieza doesn't care about any of that. If Frieza discovered a way to imitate God of Destruction energy on his own, he wouldn't become a God of Destruction. He weaponized the part that he wanted. Imagine Frieza with everything that makes him, dangerous already. His natural potential, his precision, his durability, his ruthlessness, 10 years of training, Black Frieza, and the Hakai. That might be why Frieza didn't kill Goku and Vegeta when he had the opportunity. Maybe beating them wasn't his end goal. Maybe they're just another test. And here's what makes the theory crazy to me. Dragon Ball showed us Frieza interacting with Hakai years before Black Frieza existed. He survived it, controlled it, used it on Goku, later got humbled by somebody who mastered it, then disappeared for 10 years, and returned wearing the colors of destruction. Coincidence? Maybe, but I've made one of these predictions before with the Broly. You know what I'm saying? When I kind of predicted that Broly would make a return and how they should do it. You can check that out on one of my, it's on my page, one of the older videos. But if you timeline it right, you'll see that came out way before they was thinking about Broly. So hear me out on this. It ain't just coming, off of just me, So I'm putting this one in the record now. When Black Frieza finally reveals everything he learned during those 10 years, I think destruction energy is going to be a part of it. And if Frieza pulls out the Hakai, come back to this video. Drop a like, comment, subscribe. Drop your own little theory. I'll be in the comments with you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to be doing too much going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's all I'm going to do. Come on, what's up?
For as you can see, the Emperor of this universe is back.